I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. And I want to deal with one of those questions that aren't asked, but are below the surface, especially for many of you senior professionals who are interviewing for a job a step down from where you were. And most managers, most senior leaders will not have the courage to ask the question, but you got to know it's there. Will you be out to take my job? Now, let's consider it a question out of paranoia. They're just fearful, for whatever the reason is, that you're going to be gunning for them if they hire you. After all, you've been in their seat before. Why would you take a step down? That's really the scenario that they're trying to address in their mind. So for a veteran individual, and which will tend to be an older worker, a senior leader who's interviewing for a role that isn't as high as they were before, this is a question that isn't going to be asked, but it's there. And I'll simply say there's a way to address it. The way to do it is at a certain point of the interview where maybe things are wrapping up or there's an obvious segue into this subject. You have to take the bull by the horns because they're not going to ask it. So the way you do that is at the right time, and you know what it is. You're not a beginner. You're a veteran individual, and you've got perception and sensitivity. So I'm going to trust you to recognize that moment, which, like I said, could be at the very end of the interview. Let me deal with that scenario. At the very end of the interview, if it hasn't afforded itself an opportunity for you to step in, you've got to step in before you leave or before the phone interview or video interview ends. And when they say, is there anything else? Or something along the lines of indicating that the conversation's about to end, you have to step in and say, I don't know if this is you. It probably isn't, but I want to be clear just in case you have a concern. I'm at a stage in my career where I'm not looking for your job. I'd be happy to be your lieutenant. I'd be happy to be someone who helps you in your job as a person reporting to you. I'm not going to buck for your job. What I'm here to do is to perform the work that is, that you think I could best perform for the organization to the best of my ability. Like I said, I'm not gunning for your job. I want to be the best I can be in this role because, frankly, I'm at a stage in my career where I'm not aspiring to the top spot. That's not for me right now. What I'm looking for is an opportunity to perform. You language it your way. That's the basic theme that you're trying to communicate. And in doing so, if they're insecure, you'll never be able to overcome it. But if they aren't insecure, they may probe a little bit more and go, why? I said, I've put in a lot of blood and guts into organizations. Again, you language it the way that you want. And I'm at the stage now where I'm not trying to go for the top seat. I just want to be in a situation where I can do a great job, help an organization grow. You know the rest of the speech, okay? So I hope you find this helpful. If you're interested in my coaching you, visit my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. There are tabs along the top that will allow you to hire me to coach you. Also want to say that if we aren't connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/the-big-game-hunter. Mention that you saw this because I love hearing from folks who have been able to help, who see my videos, who listen to my podcast. By the way, I have the #1 and #2 podcasts in iTunes for episodes about job search. No BS job search advice and job search radio. #1, #2 in job search. Subscribe to the shows. You'll get more of a dose of me as well. Hope you have a great day. Take care.